All right, so this is gonna suck because I had intended to bring my like GoPro that has a thing that helps to muffle the wind, stops that wind from coming through. So unfortunately, there's just gonna be bad audio on this, and I'm probably gonna work on remaking this video with that equipment. But I really just want to like get it out there now, what this concept and idea is that I'm kind of looking at. It's this whole like Elon versus Trump beef that's going on. My gut tells me that there's so much that's just not right about it. It doesn't feel like, it feels fake in certain ways. Now, when I say fake, I don't mean Elon's not upset or whatever. What I'm kind of more talking about is the level of which like he kind of went in to government thinking that, hey, this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do what I did at all of these other businesses that I went into, and I'm going to clear out all of this waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're going to cement it in, and it's going to be awesome, it's going to be amazing. And you know, I think that he has like good positive intentions in that. But when you look at like, okay, why did he pop off? Like, why did he snap and just lose it? It was over like EV stuff or whatever. And it's like, or at least like there were moments where he got like upset about him canceling. Like he's like, oh, you're going to cancel my EV like my government contracts. Well, then fine, I'm going to cancel the Dragon. To me, it's like, dude, you know that you didn't need those. You didn't even care for them. And then there's, all the government subsidies. And he's like throwing a stink about that too. And it's like, dude, I could literally go on Grok and be like, list out all of the times that Elon Musk has talked about getting rid of all of the government subsidies, how he's in favor of getting rid of all government subsidies for electric vehicles. He's like, we don't need them. So why would Elon be upset about that? Because it's the perception that it's money. Elon Musk likes money, that he cares about money. There's stuff where he's like, quotes some famous quote where he's like, offer me money, offer me power, I don't care. Basically implying, you can offer me anything. Oh, it's from Princess Bride. Like, you can offer me anything that you want. I'm not going to give in. I'm going to do what I need to get done. And so when I'm sitting here watching Elon Musk like snap and flip out over this stuff, it just simply doesn't make sense. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, well, we need to have a new party for the 80%. And guess what? 80% of the people are like, yeah. But you know what? I voted I said yes on that. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't vote for Trump. I would vote for Trump in a third term. But I do what that's pointing to is the death of the Democrat Party. The Democrats, they don't have a foundation. They don't have a principled stance for them to be standing on in order to run their platform. So what Elon Musk is doing is he's creating that platform for him. He's saying, hey, look at all this government waste, all this waste. We need to do all that. We need to actually get this budget under control. And so his target is to kind of basically say, hey, Democrats, you guys don't have anything. Pick this. Here, I'm making a big stink, and I'm showcasing that I'm against Trump. So all of you people who don't like Trump, you now have a new home that you can hop over to, and he's adamantly signaling it. I mean, this is like, I look at this as like a language. Read between the lines. Like, don't read the words. None of this stuff is literal. They're all like, what can they do to get your attention? And then there's a message behind it. There's almost like a message behind the message behind it, right? So it's like Elon comes out and he's like, hey, Trump is on the Epstein file. It's like, dude, like, we all see, this is the thing. The left, they believe that there's like something there, right? But I think Elon and everybody else knows that there's not. But what he can do is he can signal out and he can say, hey, guess what? I don't like Elon, and I'm going to use confirmation bias for all you guys who also don't like him, who kind of don't like me, but you're kind of forgetting why exactly, because especially this whole Doge thing, now that I'm exiting this whole Doge, you can see that the Doge stuff was fine. We didn't end up cutting and gutting all of your stuff. So it's like, okay, we've got a lot of stuff that we get to kind of like go through and look at. Let's see. Let me pause. Okay, so let me pick it back up. Okay, so this whole Elon thing with the oh my God, Trump is on the Epstein files. He knows that stuff's not there. So what he does, he just pumps it out there and it gets a bunch of people's attention. And what that's going to end up doing, so you have to look at like what are the gains that these people can get off of throwing out these signals. When you see, it's like what is Elon Musk dealing with right now? What is he going through, and what is he transitioning to? He has just been experiencing a bunch of leftist Democrats firebombing his Tesla vehicles and going out and attacking common people's vehicles, right? And so he's like, oh shit, dude, I can't handle, like, I need this to stop. How am I going to get this to stop? Well, he has to get it to stop by lowering the temperature. How is he going to get the people to lower temperature? He has to get the people to lower the temperature by not hating him as much. Why do they hate him so much? Because he's in support of Trump. Well, what has he got to do to get to fix this problem? Because he's going back into the industry of electric vehicles, and he's picking up on Tesla again. He's going to be the king of Tesla. So what he ends up doing is he just goes, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to come and I'm going to start talking smack about Donald Trump for this thing. And it starts off of BS, but there's at least like a sliver of truth to it. Like, hey, we did not get these cuts and they did not get put into this bill. And he gets to basically fake a fit. Like, look, if you think about it, what these cuts in effect are like cuts from like 7-8 years ago. These are 2017 cuts is what this is for, right? That's what we're cementing these things in. And so what we want to just say, hey, here's Doge, they just made a bunch of cuts, let's stick those in there and ensure that those ones are also crammed in there as well. But don't you remember, all these people were just flipping out about the Doge. Oh my God, it's gonna cause all kinds of chaos in our system. Well, those things, those cuts that got put in or that occurred, they're not permanent. They're not solidified right now, and that's an okay thing, because all we got to do is just once we've seen and can demonstrate that everything is okay without this stuff, then we can solidify it. We can say, look, we've gone through like 7-8 years of these cuts not being there. We're going to cut them, and on top of that, we're going to be continuing this process to collect more of them. So I think that there's a process for it, and I don't think Elon Musk either knew it, but I do think he knew it. I think he's just disappointed in that is a system, that's in the system. So what he's going to do, so he can basically take that and then pivot it, and he can say, hey, this is my big concern, this is my main concern, and what I need to, so what he can do is just grab the attention using all of this like boisterous, crazy language or whatever, and accusations, and he can say, hey, I want to create a new party. And what does that do? How does that even hurt Trump? Like, think about how that, to me, all that does is positively reinforce Trump and MAGA specifically. Because everybody who likes Trump and likes what he's doing is going to continue to vote for Trump. But all of these Democrats who are now, what Elon has done is he's basically split. And he said, okay, you've got the Democrats and then you've got the extreme Democrats. And if the extreme Democrats are going to hold the party, if they're going to maintain control of the party, then Elon's going to be able to carve out those reasonable people who are not in the extreme, and he's going to say, you guys are going to become this third party. So then it's just going to be extremists on the Democrat Party, and they're going to lose forever. But Elon Musk's will build, because all of the normal, rational people who also hate Trump are going to be pivoting over, and they're going to be filtering down over into Elon's party, whatever that thing starts to turn into. But he's probably going to end up taking it over and controlling that party on his own, just through media manipulation and kind of like basically doing what he's doing now, which is like political theater in all kinds of ways. And here's another thing. when you look at like, okay, what else, how else can this serve a purpose? You have what else is going on in the world? You have Ukraine and you have Russia with Putin and Zelensky, and they are harsh beefing. They have done the worst things that they can to each other. Now the expectation is that they're going to make up, but that's a hard thing to do. How do you go about that? How do you do that? How do you forgive? How do you move forward from that? Boom, here's Elon Musk. Oh my God, you're a pedophile. Like he comes out with the harshest criticism, and he does not hold back. He goes crazy on it, right? And then he's like, okay, let me actually hold back. Let me kind of back up a little bit. Let me do this. And who's there to open his arms and say, look, it's okay. Look, I know you flipped out. I know some things. I know you didn't like some things that happened, but I understand, and we're gonna move forward. I'm not going to punish you for the things that you've said. Now that signals to the people in general, hey, you know what you can do? You even though you've completely lost it on your neighbor, you can come and start talking to him again. You can say, hey, look, I'm sorry that I came and I just completely lost it, but I want to try to make things better, move forward in whatever way. So this is like a demonstration of how that can kind of be done through action, through messaging, through signals, but it's in a different language. You can't look at it like reading the words on a paper and just kind of taking it all completely literal. If you do that, you're really kind of like you're not understanding the language that's being spoken. And here's the thing. Here's a really important piece that I have to make sure that I throw in here is the stuff that I'm saying. It's not about the facts. It's not about individual fact points, but I think that it's not I'm sure that I'm not right on a lot of like little individual fact points, but in the general direction and the results. And like, if you were to focus on the results of what we see, I think that that's what you will end up. You'll be getting the hits off of the results rather than like, oh, this is an individual specific detail that came to pass. Like, I don't know the intent. I don't know the background information of whatever it is that's going on and the truth behind all of this stuff. Everything that I say, it is speculation, but I'm basically crafting together like a story that makes sense as to how it can be applied to the world. And it seems my gut and my intuition does not allow me to just say, oh, you know what? Like these incredibly smart people, leaders of the world who have just come in and taken over political parties, started movements. They're known to be geniuses, a genius marketer, a media manipulator, marketer. And to just think that they're just not doing anything smart, like they're not saying, hey, you know what, if we stage a fight, we can both weaken the Democrats, push the extremists to them, and then carve out a bunch of the regular people, and they can go kind of hang out with they can hang out with more regular Democrat style people, and they can still dislike Trump. They can still have all these things. So I think that there's a lot of stuff that's kind of going on. I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I really think that we need to be looking deeper into this. But here's another thing that I need to point out is that the only reason that this tactic, that this thing can work is if it's believable. I mean, to me, this whole thing just looks like a WWE staged kind of a thing. And what I mean by that is when you look at when you look at WWE things, how these stories play out, they have a point A, they have a start, and they have a goal. They basically don't they don't plan out all of the individual things that go on in between. They have to make that stuff up off the spot. So they don't know what's coming. They have to react off of it, but they know where they're starting and they know what their end goal is. And my belief is that Elon Musk's, and I don't know which one it's going to be, if Elon is going to be like the bad, like he's going to be the anti-Trump kind of guy, or if he's going to be like friends, like either way, I think what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a schism of sorts, but I think that it's going to be mostly superficial. I think they will be friends, but they'll be more like frenemies, which I think is going to be really healthy for the country. And I think Trump is on board with it too, because Trump knows that you need to have at least a healthy two-party system. And if the Democrats continue down this pathway without a focused leader who has a valid, valuable pathway forward, then we're just going to hurl into authoritarianism. And I know that Trump knows that he can't be here forever, and it's going to have to go on to somebody else. And if it goes on and it ends up going back into the hands of these insane Democrats who have just completely gone extreme, then that's a really bad pathway. So Elon having this new party, this new concept to carve these people out, I think it's a genius idea, and it's a way to get movement in the political realm, because you just look at the Democrats and they're completely stagnant. They can't do anything. They have zero leaders, and like Bernie Sanders is too old and AOC is too young and crazy. So there's not much that's available for those people anymore. So that's where they're going to be heading over to the new party. So this is it's a brief version, and there's so much more evidence and moments and things I can point out to, but I just want to get it out there and just kind of throw the story out. I don't think that this is a story that is necessarily what meets the eye, but it has to be believed. So honestly, I think that people who don't believe me, who don't see what I'm seeing, who don't look or who don't take it seriously, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. That's actually a requirement. That's actually needed. You need people to not believe that this is fake, right? Like wrestling, part of why wrestling got so popular is because people had the belief that what was going on in the ring was real. We were willingly suspending our beliefs. And I think that that's what's going on in politics today. Is there's a lot of political theater going on, and a lot of people are already bought into so deeply that this theater is real. And I'm kind of sitting here, and I've watched Trump for a long time, and you can even hear it when Bill Maher says, that guy that I was in the White House with is not who I knew as the president. It's a completely different person. And I think that's exactly it. Who you're seeing being represented is the theater. And I think he has intent. He has points. It's hard to figure out exactly what those are, but I think you can piece those things together when you really truly look at the results that are coming out of these things. Not the little words, not the little pitter-patters, not that stuff, but the actual results. And so when you start seeing people who hated Elon Musk a month and a half ago, who are now suddenly coming around, being like, maybe he's not so bad. They're saying, yeah, Elon, get him, Elon, and they're going after Trump. Those are the wins that Elon Musk and Trump are seeking. Elon cannot carve people away from Trump loyalists, from people who really, really like Trump. He's not carving those people away. He can't even run. But he can be a political leader. He can be a voice. He can be a representative. And what I think is actually honestly noble is that Elon Musk took it upon himself to embarrass himself, because that is what he did. He completely embarrassed himself, and I got to applaud him for it. If what he's doing, he did it for why I think, then I would say absolutely that's quite the interesting sacrifice for this guy to be able to do. So I think this is going to be a fascinating time. It's a fascinating moment. It's a fascinating thing to follow. I'm going to end it here. Keep an eye out. Put together all of the things that he has said in his past. Try pairing those things with what he's doing now and the things that he's doing, and then focus on those results and focus on like what is the actual manifestation of these things, right? Like the Epstein files. Look at how much chatter and build up and conversation is happening around the Epstein files. Now they're being pitter pattered down. Maybe there's going to be something out there. Maybe there's going to be maybe this is to get attention on this, and then they're going to pivot it and take that attention and turn it into towards something else. Just keep your eye out. Put things together. Nothing's necessarily wrong. Just float ideas. These don't solidify and say this is what's actually happening, because we don't really know. And I think it's really important for us to know that. But I think it's fun and interesting to be able to follow the trail and see where everything is going, because I'm an optimist deep down at heart, and I can see a lot of this stuff, and it seems really fun and cool. So really get out there, have fun, think of things, put things together, and if you have any connections or whatever, then write them in the comments. Later, guys.